It was later established that Jeanne, whose body was found on the floor of her sewing room, had suffered a total of 13 blows to the head and face before having her throat cut. Hello and welcome, I hope you are doing well. In today's video we are talking about a murder case that took place here in the UK in the 80s. This is the case of Heather Arnold. In the mid-80s, Paul Sutcliffe was a teacher at Kingsdown Comprehensive School in Warminster, England. He was on good terms with one of his colleagues, a maths teacher by the name of Heather Arnold, who lived just 300 yards from the home in Westbury, Wiltshire, that Paul shared with his wife Jeanne. When Heather's marriage fell apart, the Sutcliffes were sympathetic and did their best to help her cope with the situation. On Wednesday, the 30th of April 1986, Paul Sutcliffe's own life fell apart when he returned home from work to find the bodies of Jeanne and their 8-month-old baby daughter Heidi. It was later established that Jeanne, whose body was found on the floor of her sewing room, had suffered a total of 13 blows to the head and face before having her throat cut, the latter being the cause of death. Tiny, defenseless Heidi, on the other hand, had been killed by a single blow to her neck. After Heather was informed of the murders, she seemed calm without any hint of nervousness, but the police still regarded her with suspicion. They also had a hunch that the killer would try to dispose of the murder weapon in the household rubbish, so 4 detectives went undercover as dustbin men and accompanied the actual ones on their weekly rubbish collection in the hope of finding the murder weapon. The plan worked, possibly better than they had been expecting. When they got to Heather's house, they were given a white carrier bag, inside of which were 3 charred pieces of a wooden axe handle. After realising that this key piece of evidence was in the hands of the police, Heather panicked and fled to the home of her 26-year-old daughter, which was 100 miles away in Stone, Staffordshire, taking the axe head with her. After arriving at her daughter's home, she showed it to her, perhaps not expecting that her daughter, a solicitor or lawyer by profession, would respond the way she did, which was by calling the police, who promptly came and arrested Heather. Flakes of red paint from the axe head were found on Jeanne's body and in Heather's car. According to the police, Heather confessed to the killings after her arrest, before withdrawing her confession on the advice of her solicitor. The trial began on the 1st of April 1987 at Bristol Crown Court. Speaking in her own defence, Heather made the less than convincing claim that she had found the axe head in her garage and that she didn't recognise it, and that she'd chopped up the handle and tried to dispose of it, first by burning and then by binning it, due to the feeling some inexplicable need to get rid of it. Unsurprisingly, the jury didn't believe her story, and after 7 hours of deliberation, unanimously found her guilty of 2 counts of murder on the 15th of April. Heather Arnold was sentenced to life imprisonment. Heather saw a number of psychiatrists both before and after the trial, at some point admitting to them that she'd hated Jeanne, the woman who had tried to help her deal with her divorce, and had killed her in order to get closer to Paul. In 1993, a consultant psychiatrist at Broadmoor Hospital said that Heather Arnold should appeal her conviction on the grounds of diminished responsibility. On the 7th of February 1996, a request for either the verdict to be substituted with one of not guilty of murder, guilty of manslaughter by reason of diminished capacity, or for a retrial to be ordered. The request was denied the following day, the judge saying that Heather had undergone psychological examinations before her trial and that no relevant abnormality was found. He went on to say that she'd been shown to be highly intelligent, and although the defence of diminished responsibility was available at the trial, the defence did not use it. She was an intelligent and articulate woman. She was in a fit state to take decisions about her defence and to instruct her lawyers, they said. The judge also pointed out that Heather had begun giving accounts of what had happened, which varied a lot from what she had said at the time of the trial, while undergoing treatment for depression in prison. That was the case of Heather Arnold. A rather straightforward case in regards to the police quickly realising she was the murderer and arresting her, but her thinking that murdering Paul's family would allow her to get closer to him is just plain delusional. Thank you for watching, and until I see you again, please be safe, be well, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.